Hey everybody, Natix here. So I want to show you guys this program here. It's called CraftStudio. It's a program for making your own video games, or I can't think of the word, but I'll think of it later. You can make video games, or you can make videos. We'll say, okay, you can make your own videos with it, and you can do this all in complete real time with other people. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's okay, because I'm going to explain it to you. What that means is, like, I could be sitting here making a model of a character for my game, and one of my friends could come in, join in, and he could just start helping me make that character, or he'd go and make another character, and I can watch him do it, and it will all be systematically done at the exact same time with each other, and it's pretty neat. But basically, what I want to do is I want to start showing you guys what this program is capable of doing, and what can be done, and what I'm doing, and I want to do some tutorials on how to do some things, and whatever. If you want to get your hands on this program, you can download it for free at the website, which is CraftStudios. Well, it's CraftStudio, but the IO is actually after a dot, so it's actually craftstud.io. I'll put a link in the description of the video, and I'll just put a blip on the screen or whatever, so you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what the website link is. Now, to have full access to the program itself, you have to buy it, which I think right now it's only like $10 or something. I don't remember exactly. I'll have to look up. And what that will do is it allows you to import and export projects. It allows you to do scripting, and it allows you to test your game. Now, if you don't buy the game, all you can do is build models, animate models, build maps, build scenes, and that's it. You can't play with scripting, and well, with sounds you have to be able to import them, so you can't import sounds or export sounds or anything. So, I mean, you can still do the modeling portion if you don't buy it, which is fine and dandy. I mean, maybe you don't want to build your own game. Maybe you want to just go help somebody else out, and you're really good at modeling and animating and texturing and level design. Well, there you go. You don't even have to buy the program. But I went ahead and bought it because I really like it, and I want to support the developer, who is this French guy. I can't really say his name, so I'm not going to try. And oh, my neck hurts. Right now the program is in alpha stage, but he is working on getting the next. He's announced that the next update is going to be putting it in beta. So I'm pretty excited about that, and it's going to be really awesome. It's adding a lot more stuff, like it's going to finally add physics and stuff. So that'll be cool. So right now, what I've decided to do is I'm going to show you guys a quick tutorial on making your first model in CraftStudio, how to set up joints in your model correctly, and parenting parts of the model to other parts and stuff like that. And if there's enough time, I will go into doing some animation with it. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to do a whole, like, I'm going to make the whole model in videos and stuff, so that way it is from start to finish. Maybe I will do it all in one video, that way I don't have it split up in multiple ones. But anyways, let's go ahead and start. So for this, I'm going to first make an asset folder, and we'll just call it player, and then in that we will make the model player. Okay, so it opens it right away because I had it checked to make it, and I can rotate the camera by clicking down my center wheel button, and I can, like right here when I move, you can see this deal right here in the middle. That is what my camera is fixated around. Whenever I rotate or zoom in and out, it is all orientated around that. But I can use the, first let's add a model, because when you add a new block, all models are made of blocks. When you add a new model, it's also going to go to the center of that fixated point. But I can use the WASD keys to move left and back and forth and right and such, and then space and shift to go up and down. And then something else I can do is I can double click the block I just added to go right back to where I started. Otherwise you could exit and open it back up to get back to the starting point. Okay, so first we've got our block here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this block to body. Bam. So there's our body. Now, if I remember correctly, blue here is the front. So just to be absolutely certain, I'm going to come into the paint part of it. And I'm just going to select a random color, and I'm going to do that. And yeah, it's the front, which is good. Okay, so first I want to obviously change the size of it because I don't want my body to be perfectly square like that. So I'm going to reduce this down to 8 blocks, and I don't want it to be 16 and 16 on width and height, so we're going to make this 12, and that is going to work for me. Actually, no, I'm going to make this 4, and this 10, and this 12. Bam. So then, now that we've got our body, we want to add more parts. So let's go ahead and do the head. And the head I want to be 8 by 8 by 8. I just realized actually I want the body to be 8 wide too. That way it's more the size of everything. I'll make this 10. Okay. So then, this is, by the way, I probably should have touched on this first. But this right here is for changing the position, the orientation, which is used for rotating. I'll just set that back to 0. And then this is scale or size to change it, which you've already seen me doing. And this is pivot offset. I will go more into that later when I'm showing you how to set up joints correctly. And then stretch, which is going to stretch out the size of the model without actually resizing it. Set that back to 1. Okay, so we want to put this guy down. That looks right on the money. And you'll see that this right here, the head, is attached to the body, which means if I move the body around, it's going to move the head with it. Okay, so then we want to add another one, and we're going to call this one arm left, or L for left. And we want to resize this to 4 by 6 by 4. And move this out, and I just realized I am wrong again. I do want this to be 12. Oh, I'm so indecisive right now. It's okay. Okay. And then everyone's looking at it, it's like, we call it arm left and it's on his right side. But if we go to his back, it's on his left, so yeah. Okay. So before I do anything here, I want to change the pivot offset point, which is that purple dot right there in the middle. And so we'll come up to pivot offset, and I'm going to want it to about right there. And I want it to be along the edge there, like that. And what that does, now if I try and, if I go to rotate, it's going to rotate it off of that point instead of directly the middle of it, which is very useful for when you're animating and stuff. So you want to make sure that you do this when you put together your own models. And then I want to put this up at his neck level. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually duplicate this model, and I'm going to call it forearm left. And bam. And I want it to be independent of the arm left. And we're going to change the offset point so that it's right there at the very top middle. And then we're going to come down and put it right there. So now when I want to rotate this arm, I can just do that for the bending of the elbow. And we'll hit 0 on there. Whoops. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to duplicate the arm L again, and this time I'm not going to uncheck this, so that way it's going to duplicate that as well. And I'm going to put an R right here. I'll come in here and rename this one. And then for both of these, I want to make it so that the red is -1. Oh, whoops, wrong arm. And what this is going to do is I'm going to be able to use the same texture for both arms, but instead it will be flipped on the right arm. And then I need to come to the pivot offset again and put it right there, and then move the arm off to the right side. And there we go. Now the legs are going to be the exact same thing, except for this top pivot point is going to be right in the middle. So I'm going to save time again, and we'll just duplicate this, and this time we'll change arm to leg. And this we will change to shin. And then we gotta change the offset to right there. And we're gonna come down and over. And there's our first leg. And then we'll duplicate this again. And this time we're gonna call it left. And we'll bring it over. Rename the shin so it's left. And then we need to come to the stretch and make these 1 so that the model, or so the texture is not inverted. And there's that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this out. I'm going to zoom in down here. And we're going to UV map this the way we want to. And I don't know how many of you have played with Minecraft, if you've done the texture swarm or anything, but as most of you will see already, this is heavily the same as a Minecraft character, other than the fact that there's elbows and knees. So just going to do the exact same UV wrap for it as a Minecraft character. Only difference is that we have the elbows and knees, so we'll have to change a little bit there. So I'm just putting these in the positions that I want them, so I can color them or texturize them the correct way that I want. I didn't give the model a separate hair model like a Minecraft character, but I'm not exactly overly worried about it. Okay, so now what I want to change is the fact that I've got these squares here in the middle of those. So what we're going to do is come up to unwrap mode, and we're going to use custom. I'm going to grab this. He's going to go there, and he's going to go there. So that way, whoops. I'm going to do the same here. Custom, and there. Actually, it's probably not a good idea now that I think about it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to set this back to full just to reset it. And then we'll start with these ones actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over. So this is going to be where I put the top and bottom for the top of the leg, and then on the side over here I will put the top and bottom for the shin. That way they are separated and I have a little bit more control over the texture. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and throw in a texture here. Now, I'm really not overly worried about making my own custom texture here. You can if you want. All you have to do is come into Paint here, like I showed earlier, and you can select your color, and you can just do whatever, or you can erase, and you can change your brush size. Right now I'm just going to make him entirely visible. Invisible, I mean. You can go up to the max of 32 with your brush size. And then here we got selection if you want to copy an area, and here we got move if you want to move that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly open up my browser and grab a simple Minecraft texture or character texture, skin, whatever, and I'm going to throw it on there. So we got it open in Paint. I'm going to Control A and Control C it, close it, come in here and paste it. Bam, and there he is. I'll have to go through and erase the white so it works correctly. And then, so we're still in Paint, so I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to change this to 8 for better. I'm not going to worry about making the different model area for the helmet just for those bits there, so I'm not going to do that. And then we want to grab our selection tool and grab that and move it over to here and grab this one and move it over here. And what else I'm going to do, because it's got knees, is we're going to Control copy it into right there. Now obviously having forearms on here is not really a necessity, but they are there. We probably won't animate it with them, but we could do it in another one. So there's that. I don't really care for the diamond pick on the back, but oh well, it's there. And you'll see, or you'll notice, that the textures have flipped correctly because we inverted the right arm from the left arm, so that's good. No problems there. One thing I don't really seem to like is that the guy who made this didn't do anything for the outside of the arm unless I've got this backwards, which I think is the case. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to here, and we're going to make it so the left arms are the ones that are negative instead. And the left leg, of course. Got to be consistent so that way there's no confusion, although I'm sure I've probably confused somebody already. That's alright. If you're confused, just post a comment, ask something, I'll get a video response up explaining it, or maybe just watch the video over, whatever. Okay, so because we're not going to actually animate this down, I'm going to just go ahead and expand this down the rest of the way. So we want it to be 12. Go ahead and delete the forearms. And then we gotta do the pivot offset again, because the pivot stays in the same place no matter what. And that's right. And that's right. So there's that. Alright. So now the next part to do is to animate the character. And I'm not planning on doing all of the animation for it. I just want to get you guys a good idea of how you can do animations. So you come up to the animate tab like I did, and you'll see right here underneath it says no animation. So we want to hit the plus minus here and add model animations, and what we're going to do is an idle animation, and we're going to create it and hit close. When you do it, you could do, your walk animation and run animation and your attack animation, and you have them all right there, and then you can go through here to cycle which one you want, but we're just going to do the idle for this. Alright, so for the idle animation, I want to make this 90 frames. So in here in duration, I'll write 90. What that's going to do is going to make it so that there are 90 frames here total. Now, I know this is a ghost, but I'm still going to make it so it's got a breathing animation. So first what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on its body. I'm going to go to stretch here, and I want to add a keyframe right here at 0, and then I want to come up to 45 and add another one, and then this is where I'm going to actually add the stretch, and we want to make it so it goes 1.1 in every direction. And this should make a simulated, or yeah, a simulation of breathing. And there you go. It's not like the best breathing animation, but I mean it works, and it's just for aesthetics. Okay, so that's not all we're going to do, obviously. With breathing, nobody sits still while they're breathing. There's other parts of their body that moves, and so we want to make this as fluid as possible. So we're going to add rotation animations to the arms. So I clicked on the rotating, went back to 0 for the starting frame, and I clicked here to add the keyframe form. And then instead of dragging this over to 45 again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the body, click this keyframe, and then click back here. Save me a little time of having to try and get that perfect. And click to add keyframe again. And what I'll do is I will just rotate this just a little bit. So now when we play, the arms will move with it. And this seems to be just a little too much on the stretching for the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 1.05, just for a little bit less. That seems a lot better. So now the arms move with the breathing. Now what we'll do is come back to 45 with the head, and we want to also do some rotations with this. And I forgot to add 0 there. The reason I do 0 is every time you add a keyframe, I should explain this, I should have done this right away, but every time you add a keyframe, wherever that keyframe is going to save the position, rotation, size, shape, and stretch of that part of the model at that keyframe, and then everything in between that keyframe and the last saved keyframe is going to change accordingly to make it smoothly change to where you had just made that keyframe. That's why when you see this, you see the arms going in and out, and the chest going, stretching and getting smaller, and stretching bigger, and etc. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make this guy look around. So we're not just going to make it at 45. We're going to come over to like 22 and 80, and we'll just add some looking around here. So at 22, we're going to make the ghost look over. Okay. And then at 45, we're going to make him look over the other way. Or we're going to make him, yeah, we'll make him start looking a little bit that way. And at this one, he's going to look up and over. Alright, so now let's play this. Looks pretty good. Could be a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this 180 for duration. And we're going to come to 90 for here. And we're going to add a keyframe, add a keyframe, and add a keyframe. And we're going to set this back down to 0, 0, and 1. And then I'm not exactly sure. Let's see, was it 135 that we want now? We're going to do the exact same stuff we did at 45. Oops. If you accidentally add a keyframe that you don't want, all you gotta do is hit this again and it will remove it. So that way you don't have to worry about that. So this is going to be rotation. Totally screwed that up. Didn't even notice. Alright, so then we come back here. And we want to change this to 1.05, 1.05, 1.05. Okay, and then the head, at this point we want to actually put the head right back at the starting point. And he's just going to sit there. So he's going to kind of look around, and then he's going to go back, continue breathing, and then he's going to look around again. And that's a quick little 30-minute video, not really quick I guess, on doing short animation, easy character model, etc. Hope you guys really like this. If you did, please like it, subscribe. Well, I mean, you don't have to subscribe. I'm not really too worried about it, but I'm going to be doing more videos. I'm going to do level design, concept design. Can't really promise you anything with scripting. I'm not much of a scripter myself. I'm going to look into learning some scripting, and I will get back to you. Maybe I'll make videos on me learning scripting, so that way we can all figure it out all together, and you guys can see the process I go through to teach myself on scripting, so that way you can figure it out as well. Hope you guys really liked the video. More to come. Can't wait to do it. Bye.